Folks, in 2025, I can't think of a worse fate for a woman than to be a tool for the Republican Party. The caricatures conservative women have agreed to play for the Republican brand are humiliating. Even more so because they do it in exchange for some faux sense of safety. They do it to save their own skin. The Republican Party hates women. That's just a fact. Whether women play the part of the sexy girl vying for the male gaze or the trad wife churning out kids, conservative women only exist relative to their service to men. It's particularly sad when conservative women work so hard at the glam, always trying to outdo each other for the top spot as the brethren's preferred ornament, somehow clocking that effort as a triumph over ugly cat ladies whose feminism surely ruined their lives. Sexy vixen conservative women have no idea they're no different than the childless cat lady trope. Neither represent anything on their own. The cat lady is who she is because she doesn't have a man. The sexy vixen is who she is because of how she titillates a man. Both are man-made and meant to make men feel superior to women. And conservative women happily play along. Conservative men have been slipping in the dating world for quite some time. They've sorted themselves into the alphas and the weirdos. The alphas decide what they want, and the weirdos figure out how to game the system to get it. Neither understand women or care to. Women aren't meant to be known, they're meant to be owned, and they'd better be grateful for it. Conservatives need women to make the potential recruits buy into the grift. The sexy sirens make it look like conservatives are having all the fun. Look at the women they get. They must be great men. Maybe if I join their club, I'll get sexy women too. Conservatives dangle financial benefits, the promise of fame, and protection from the wrath of conservative judgment in front of scared, rudderless, nubile chicks. And before long, the chicks start singing the men's cock-a-doodle-doos. Social media explodes with hissy-pissy sexy girls who make a name for themselves trashing the unsexy, unhappy, woke libs who couldn't find a man to save their lives, and even if they could, he'd probably be a wussy pussy. There's a whole army of conservative mean girls across platforms yapping their insults, doing the bidding of the men who use them, promoting the brand that exploits its workers. These girls work hard at it. That level of assholery takes practice. We see Republican women metastasize into products only a hefty price and serious dedication can achieve. There's nothing effortless about conservative women. No, they're not born with Swedish blonde Rapunzel hair. That's extensions and dye. No, blowfish lips aren't incredibly common. That's filler. No, boobs don't sit up at your clavicles and never settle or sway. That's plastic surgery. Now listen, to each her own. Look however you want. But acknowledge the cosplay. Don't pretend you were born better when you've altered every aspect of your appearance. And don't ridicule women who don't play that game. That's like roasting yourself over a spit while laughing at liberal women for not wanting to roast themselves too. Maybe liberals don't want to be feasted upon by a bunch of puffy, gluttonous men. Maybe liberals want a seat at the table where no humans have to be sacrificed to satiate the brethren's hunger. It goes without saying, Republican men only want white women on the shelves. They only buy and sell the race they want to perpetuate. But if you're a minority woman, they'll definitely sexualize you too, especially if you dare to be strong and ambitious. They'll put you on your knees like Kamala. And don't get it twisted. They may pretend to admire her intellect, but in their fantasies, they've got Candace Owens down there too. And don't get it twisted. She knows that. And she rides that fantasy all the way to the bank. Conservative women stampede over each other to chase the male gaze, thinking somehow if they take up the charge doling out misogyny, they might be spared of it. As though playing the chauvinist pig negates the fact that they're eventually going to get roasted too. Men get to be chauvinists without also being on the menu. On top of all this, conservative women don't seem to realize the catch-22. How are they supposed to titillate and also demonstrate purity? How do they say, I'm all woman, but sex ed is dirty? I'm in touch with my inner Aphrodite, but my womb is the property of the state. Conservative women take on the brethren's lust, but they also take on the brethren's shame. Conservative men want hood ornaments who invoke sex, but they also want to portray sex as filthy when it serves them. They want people to think they're stooping the hot girls, but they also want casual sex to be frowned upon. They want us to believe sex that makes trad wives pregnant is beautiful, but sex that leads to an abortion is a nasty deed. The message is as hypocritical as the men. Inevitably, the patriarchy power players who legislate women's bodies have legions of skeletons of nasty in their closets. But conservative women still hand over their agency and internalize misogyny like they're one of the boys. The biggest problem for conservative men right now is the departure from traditional roles and binary gender. If a woman's identity doesn't turn on the presence of a man, and if gender exists on a spectrum, the whole conservative power structure gets watered down. It's harder to control that which you can't label. As fewer people buy into the hierarchy of the conservative brand, hot girls and trad wives lose their luster. Women who don't want to roast on a spit or package themselves for purchase or throw each other under the bus have choices. And we all know Republicans can't stand women empowered with a choice. Ultimately, I think women with any innate wisdom will wise up. While conservative women play caricatures, a lot of us are out here having real relationships, being known, not owned. Let's just hope girls being raised in conservative homes see the difference and choose the lives they deserve.